The Myrtles Plantation. Built in 1796 by General David Bradford, this mansion exudes an eerie charm that has attracted countless visitors, ghost hunters, and curious onlookers over the years. The plantation's history is steeped in tragedy, mystery, and numerous tales of ghostly encounters, making it a must-visit for those fascinated by the supernatural. One of the plantation's most famous legends revolves around a former slave named Chloe. According to the tale, Chloe was a servant at the Myrtles who, fearing punishment for eavesdropping on her master's conversations, concocted a plan to redeem herself. She baked a poisonous cake for the master's wife and children, intending only to make them ill so she could nurse them back to health and regain favor. However, the plan went horribly wrong, resulting in the tragic deaths of 3 members of the Woodruff family, Sarah Woodruff and her 2 daughters. In a panic, Chloe was hanged by her fellow slaves and thrown into the Mississippi River. Today, Chloe's spirit is said to roam the plantation, often seen wearing a green turban, and visitors frequently report eerie encounters with her ghostly figure. The plantation is also known for the bloodstain legend. It is said that one of the home's previous owners, William Winter, was shot on the porch by an unknown assailant. Severely wounded, Winter staggered into the house and tried to ascend the stairs to seek help from his wife. He managed to climb up to the 17th step before collapsing and dying in his wife's arms. To this day, visitors and staff report hearing phantom footsteps on the staircase, believed to be the dying steps of William Winter. Another chilling story from the Myrtles involves the mysterious mirror in the main hallway. This antique mirror is said to contain the trapped spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her children, who were allegedly poisoned by Chloe. Guests and staff have often reported seeing handprints and strange marks appear on the glass, despite regular cleaning. Some even claim to see the faint outlines of figures in old-fashioned clothing within the mirror's reflective surface. But the hauntings at the Myrtles Plantation don't end there. Numerous apparitions have been reported, including the spirits of Civil War soldiers who allegedly died on the property. Some visitors claim to have seen the ghost of a young girl, possibly one of the Woodruff children, who appears to be lost or searching for something. Other unexplained phenomena include doors opening and closing on their own, objects moving, and unexplained cold spots throughout the house. And while this topic is always controversial, some investigators believe that the property's proximity to ancient Native American burial grounds may contribute to the high level of activity, suggesting that the land itself could be cursed or imbued with spiritual energy. Adding to the lore, the Myrtles Plantation has a colorful history of ownership, tales of secret passageways, hidden treasure, and even a voodoo priestess casting protective spells around the property have all been woven into the fabric of its storied past. The Myrtles Plantation remains a popular destination for tourists, history buffs, and ghost enthusiasts alike. The plantation has been converted into a bed and breakfast, allowing visitors to spend the night in one of the most haunted houses in America. For the brave souls who choose to stay, the experience can range from peaceful to utterly terrifying, depending on what or who they encounter during their visit. Lizzie Borden House. Located in Fall River, Massachusetts, this unassuming 2.5-story clapboard house became infamous due to a gruesome double murder that took place in 1892. On the morning of August 4th, 1892, Andrew and Abby Borden were brutally murdered in their home. Andrew Borden a wealthy and prominent businessman, was found lying on the couch, his face nearly unrecognizable from multiple hatchet blows. Abby, his wife, and Lizzie's stepmother, was discovered upstairs in the guest bedroom, having suffered a similar fate. The murders were particularly shocking due to their brutality and the fact that they occurred in broad daylight while the household was occupied. The prime suspect was Andrew's youngest daughter, Lizzie Borden, who was 32 years old at the time. Lizzie was arrested and tried for the murders, but despite a mountain of circumstantial evidence, she was acquitted. The case remains officially unsolved, but Lizzie's name has become synonymous with the crime, immortalized in the infamous rhyme, "Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Many theories have been proposed over the years to explain the motives behind the murders. Some suggest that Lizzie, driven by anger and resentment over her father's wealth and her perceived mistreatment, committed the crimes. Others believe that the murders were financially motivated, possibly due to inheritance disputes or Abby's plans to gift her estate to her own family. There's even speculation that Lizzie might have suffered from a mental illness, which could have triggered the violent outburst. However, none of these theories have been conclusively proven, leaving the case shrouded in mystery. Following this brutal history, the house became a paranormal hotspot. Some have even claimed to see apparitions resembling the Bordens, especially in the rooms where the murders took place. One of the most frequently reported phenomena is the sound of a woman weeping, believed to be the spirit of Abby Borden, who is said to linger in the guest bedroom where she was killed. Guests who stay at the bed and breakfast often seek out the rooms where the murders occurred. The house has been meticulously restored to resemble its appearance on that fateful day, with period-appropriate furniture and decor. The guest bedroom, where Abby Borden was murdered, and the sitting room where Andrew Borden met his end, are the most requested rooms, attracting thrill-seekers and ghost hunters eager to experience the house's eerie ambiance. The house's dark history and the mysteries surrounding it have also inspired numerous books, films, and plays, cementing its place in the popular culture. So, what draws people to the Lizzie Borden house? Is it the thrill of stepping into the scene of a notorious crime? The hope of encountering a restless spirit? Or perhaps the human fascination with the unknown and the unexplained? Whatever the reason, the house continues to captivate and disturb, standing as a testament to one of America's most enigmatic murder mysteries. St. Augustine Lighthouse. Nestled along the coastline of Florida, the St. Augustine Lighthouse stands tall. Built in 1874, this historic lighthouse is not only renowned for guiding countless ships safely to shore, but also for its dark and eerie history that has spurred numerous tales of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena. The unsettling stories surrounding the St. Augustine Lighthouse begin with its construction. In 1871, during the building of the lighthouse, a tragic accident occurred. The foreman overseeing the project, Hezekiah Pittee, had brought his family, including his children, to live near the construction site. To keep themselves entertained, the children often played in a supply cart used to transport materials from the beach to the work site. On one fateful day, the cart broke loose and rolled down the hill, tragically plunging into the water. 3 children, including 2 of Pittee's daughters, Eliza and Mary, drowned in the accident. Since then, the spirits of these young girls are said to haunt the grounds. their playful laughter and ghostly giggles echoing through the halls of the lighthouse and the surrounding area. Visitors and staff alike have reported encountering ghostly apparitions, especially of a young girl dressed in period clothing. Many believe this is the spirit of Eliza Pitty, one of the children who perished in the tragic accident. Some have even claimed to hear the distant sound of children playing, only to find no one there upon investigation. One particularly chilling account involves the frequent appearance of small footprints appearing in unexplained places, as if left by invisible children walking around the lighthouse grounds. But the story doesn't end with the tragic death of the children. The lighthouse itself has been a witness to numerous accidents and deaths over the years, further adding to its reputation as a haunted location. During the lighthouse's active years, several keepers lost their lives under mysterious circumstances. One such tale involves a lighthouse keeper who fell to his death while painting the tower. His ghost is often reported as a shadowy figure that lurks around the lighthouse, sometimes seen climbing the tower stairs or looking out from the top. Another figure often cited is that of a man believed to be Joseph Andreu, an earlier lighthouse keeper who also died tragically. Joseph fell from the original lighthouse while performing maintenance work. His wife, Maria, took over his duties after his death. Visitors have reported seeing a man in an old-fashioned lighthouse keeper's uniform wandering the grounds, thought to be Joseph still keeping watch over the lighthouse even in death. Some claim to have seen the apparition of a woman standing by the window, staring out to sea. This spectre is believed to be Maria Andreu, watching over the lighthouse she once helped manage. The paranormal activity doesn't just stay confined to the lighthouse and the keeper's house. The surrounding grounds and even the waters nearby have their share of ghostly encounters. Fishermen and boaters have reported seeing strange lights and apparitions near the lighthouse. One eerie tale recounts the sighting of a ghostly figure walking along the catwalk of the lighthouse late at night, only to vanish into thin air. Local legends also speak of other mysterious phenomena associated with the lighthouse. Some believe that the lighthouse itself serves as a beacon, not just for ships, but for lost souls, guiding them towards the light. This belief is rooted in the idea that the lighthouse's powerful beam, visible for miles, draws spirits toward it, much like moths to a flame. Waverly Hills Sanatorium. This sprawling Gothic structure was originally built in 1910 as a 2-story hospital to accommodate tuberculosis patients. At the time, tuberculosis was an incurable disease, and the sanatorium was designed to be a self-sufficient facility, complete with a farm, post office, and even a zip line for transporting supplies. However, it was the expansion in 1926 that marked the beginning of the dark history of Waverly Hills. With the tuberculosis epidemic worsening, the hospital was enlarged to a 5-story building capable of holding over 400 patients. Despite the best medical care available at the time, the disease claimed countless lives, and the sanatorium quickly became a place of despair and death. The death toll at Waverly Hills is estimated to be between 6,000 and 63,000, though the true number remains unknown. This staggering number of deaths has left a mark on the building, with many believing that the spirits of the deceased still linger within its walls. One of the most notorious legends associated with Waverly Hills is the story of Room 502. This room is infamous for being the site of 2 tragic incidents involving nurses. The first occurred in 1928, when a nurse was found hanging from a light fixture. She had allegedly unalived herself after discovering she was pregnant out of wedlock, a scandalous situation at the time. The second incident happened in 1932, when another nurse reportedly jumped from the window of her room to her death. To this day, visitors and paranormal investigators claim to feel an overwhelming sense of dread in this room. Some even report seeing shadowy figures or hearing disembodied voices pleading for help. The body chute, or death tunnel, is another chilling feature of Waverly Hills. This 500-foot tunnel was originally constructed to transport supplies from the bottom of the hill to the hospital. However, as the death toll rose, it became a discreet means of removing bodies from the facility to avoid alarming the other patients. The bodies were transported through this tunnel to waiting hearses or ambulances, a practice that led to the tunnel's grim nickname. Today, the death tunnel is a hotspot for paranormal activity, with visitors reporting cold spots, mysterious noises, and even apparitions. The shadow people are perhaps the most frequently encountered phenomena at Waverly Hills. These are dark, humanoid figures seen darting around corners or standing in doorways. Unlike typical ghosts, shadow people are often seen as darker than the surrounding darkness, and they are known for instilling fear in those who see them. Some speculate that these entities are the residual energies of the countless patients who suffered and died in the sanatorium, trapped between worlds due to the trauma they experienced. Another notable location within the sanatorium is the solarium, a large room with floor-to-ceiling windows where patients were exposed to fresh air and sunlight, believed to be therapeutic at the time. The most famous ghost associated with this area is known as Timmy, the spirit of a young boy who allegedly spent much of his life in the hospital. Legend has it that Timmy enjoys playing with visitors, often rolling a ball across the floor in response to their attempts to communicate. Talking about children, the 5th floor of Waverly Hills, especially the children's ward, is another area with a reputation for paranormal activity. This ward was dedicated to children suffering from tuberculosis, some of whom were separated from their families for years. The sounds of children's laughter, footsteps, and even music boxes playing have been reported by visitors. Some claim to see ghostly figures of children peeking around corners or standing in the halls. The poignant atmosphere of this area, combined with the joy and sorrow experienced by the young patients, makes it one of the most emotionally charged parts of the sanatorium. In 1961, Waverly Hills closed its doors as the tuberculosis epidemic waned and treatments improved. Since then, the decaying structure has drawn thrill seekers, urban explorers, and paranormal investigators from around the world. Its eerie atmosphere, combined with countless reports of ghostly encounters, has solidified its status as one of the most haunted places in America. The Queen Mary. The Queen Mary is a grand ocean liner that was once the epitome of luxury and elegance, now known as one of the most haunted locations in the world. Launched in 1934, this majestic ship served as a transatlantic liner, a troop ship during World War II, and now rests permanently docked in Long Beach, California. The ship's rich history is not just filled with tales of glamour and adventure, but also with stories of tragedy and unexplained occurrences that continue to intrigue and terrify visitors. The ship has been the site of numerous deaths, accidents, and inexplicable events, leading many to believe that it is haunted by spirits from its storied past. One of the most famous haunted locations on the Queen Mary is the first-class swimming pool. This area, now drained and out of use, is said to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. Visitors and staff have reported seeing the ghostly apparitions of women in vintage bathing suits, sometimes leaving wet footprints on the deck, despite the pool being dry for decades. The spectre of a little girl named Jackie is also frequently reported. She is said to have drowned in the pool during a voyage, and her disembodied voice is often heard calling out for her mother or giggling in the empty hallways. Some witnesses claim to have seen her clutching a teddy bear, adding a poignant touch to this chilling tale. Another area steeped in mystery is the engine room, specifically door 13. During the ship's operational days, this watertight door was responsible for a gruesome accident. In 1966, a young crewman was crushed to death by the door during a routine drill. His presence is still felt by many, with reports of seeing a bearded man in blue overalls wandering near the door. Cold spots and unexplained bangs and knocks are commonly experienced here, often attributed to the restless spirit of the unfortunate crewman. Room B340 is perhaps the most notorious spot on the Queen Mary. This room has a dark reputation, with numerous reports of poltergeist activity. Guests have reported blankets being pulled off them while they sleep, lights turning on and off by themselves, and even the sensation of being touched or pushed by an unseen entity. It was once so frightening that it was closed off to guests for years. In more recent times, the room has been reopened for the bravest of visitors seeking a paranormal experience. As a result, the ship has also been the subject of numerous paranormal investigations. Renowned ghost hunters and paranormal experts have flocked to the Queen Mary, capturing eerie voices on tape, documenting unexplained temperature drops, and photographing strange apparitions. Today, the Queen Mary serves as a hotel and museum, offering a unique blend of history and paranormal intrigue. Guests can stay in the haunted cabins, take ghost tours, and even participate in paranormal investigations. For those seeking a brush with the supernatural, the Queen Mary offers an experience like no other.